In the land of Egypt, where the Pharaoh ruled with an iron fist, the Israelites lived in bondage and despair. But from the river came a story of hope, one that would change the course of history. A mother, desperate to save her child, placed her son into a basket and set him afloat on the Nile River. This child was named Moses. Pharaoh's daughter found the basket and, moved by compassion, decided to raise the child as her own. Little did she know, this child would one day confront her father, the mighty Pharaoh, and bring freedom to the oppressed. As Moses grew, he became aware of his true heritage. He was not an Egyptian, but an Israelite, and he could not ignore the suffering of his people. One day, witnessing an Egyptian taskmaster beating an Israelite, Moses struck down the man in anger and fled to the wilderness. Fleeing from Egypt, Moses found refuge in the land of Midian, where he married and started a family. But God had not forgotten Moses, nor his people. One day, while tending to his sheep, Moses saw a burning bush, and from within the flames, God called to him. God said,
"Moses."
Moses said, "Here I am." God said,
"I have seen the suffering of my people in Egypt, and I have heard their cries. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of slavery."
Moses said, "But who am I, Lord, to go before Pharaoh?" God said,
"I will be with you, Moses. You will deliver the Israelites, and they will worship me on this mountain."
Moses returned to Egypt, armed with God's power and a message of freedom. He stood before Pharaoh, the ruler of the most powerful empire in the world. Moses said, "Let my people go, that they may worship the Lord." Pharaoh said,
"Who is this Lord, that I should listen to him? I do not know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go."
Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he refused to listen. So God sent 10 plagues upon Egypt. Pharaoh said,
"Go, leave my land, take your people, and worship your God."
Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, but Pharaoh's heart still burned with anger. He pursued them to the Red Sea, where a miraculous event would unfold. With Pharaoh's army closing in, Moses raised his staff, and the waters of the Red Sea parted, creating a path of dry land. The Israelites crossed to safety, and when Pharaoh's army followed, the waters returned, drowning the Egyptian soldiers. The journey to the Promised Land. Moses led the Israelites through the wilderness for 40 years, teaching them God's commandments and guiding them toward the Promised Land. Though Moses would not enter it himself, his faith in God's plan never wavered. And so, Moses became a symbol of faith, courage, and the power of God to deliver his people from bondage. The story of Moses continues in the hearts of all who trust in God's promise.